My Hero Academia Season 5 Episode 14 is out, and with this new episode, the second half of Season 5 and the Endeavour Agency Arc officially begins. We got a new opening and everything. This episode covers 3 chapters from the My Hero manga, following the events of Chapter 243, 244, and 245. And so, without further ado, let's jump right into My Hero Academia Season 5 Episode 14 titled Off to Endeavour's Agency. And as usual, don't forget to Detroit smash that like button and slide into that subscribe button's DMs to hit that notification bell. This episode opens up with a flashback following Hawks flying above the city streets on the phone with everyone's favourite villainous smoking hot flame boy, Dobby. The two hot stuff playboys are discussing Hawks' loyalty to the League of Villains, and there's a back and forth between them as Hawks tries to play the fool while Dobby is rightfully taking extreme caution with the entire conversation. At this point in the story, Dobby really is the most logical and ironically the most cool-headed member of the League. So having him be the one to deal with Hawks is a great way of having a sort of battle of the wits between the heroes and villains. But this conversation ultimately ends with Dobby giving Hawks one more chance to prove himself loyal, saying, "Make it someone other than the #1 hero this time." And with this, the story cuts on over to the lair of the Pantman, aka Best Jeanist's apartment, where we see the now #3 hero getting ready to reintroduce himself to the world. Unfortunately for the denim-clad warrior, however, Hawks seems to have different plans, as he pulls out his long feather sword thingy behind our sacred Jean hero's back, and the scene cuts away to Hawks once again flying through the air trying to get in contact with Dobby, except this time he is now carrying a large, heavy bag. Not BJ! He was taken before his time! But this tragic moment is immediately thrown to the side, as we are greeted with this season's second opening and the OP song, Man with a Mission, Merry Go Round. My overall opinion on this opening is that it's alright. While there are some pretty cool visuals like the transition from All Might to Endeavour, this shot of 1A's big tree, and the parallel image of Shigaraki and Midoriya, the majority of this intro feels extremely static. Most of it is just scrolling still images or still images placed in front of scrolling backgrounds. Plus, it doesn't even have Happy Jiggling Midnight, so that's definitely a downgrade. In terms of music, I actually quite like the song. It's no Odd Future or The Day, but it's got a really catchy chorus. Although I don't think this song is enough to save it. Overall, it's rough to say it, but I think this is probably one of the worst openings, if not the worst in my opinion, which really isn't what the show needed going into the second half of this season. But let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions on the opening below. I'm really curious to see what everyone thinks of it. And after the new opening, the story cuts to New Year's night, where we see Izuku back home with Mama Midoriya celebrating the holiday. Baby Midoriya informs his mother on everything he has gone through over the past few months. You know, the whole overhaul arc where Midoriya nearly died multiple times, one time being when he nearly got reversed out of existence by Eri, and he also witnessed the tragic death of one of his mentors, the gentle criminal arc where Midoriya fought a known dangerous criminal all on his own in the middle of a forest, and the joint training arc where uncontrollable dark energy tendrils randomly burst out of his body, nearly killing him and half of his classmates. Hearing all of this, Mama Midoriya understandably suffers from a seizure, foaming from the mouth due to the sheer stress of being a shonen protagonist's mother. In seeing this, Midoriya quickly changes the subject, bringing up a letter the ever-lovable Eri wrote thanking him for a great time at the UA festival. And this scene ends with a nice little moment where the Midoriyas activate their true quirk's tear duct explosion and they have a happy cry about how well life is going. Simpler days. The story then cuts back on over to the daytime, where we see the winged hero Hawks landing at a mysterious mansion and meeting up with the Mega Chin hero Slide and Go. Slide and Go scolds Hawks, telling him that he's not allowed to go running off on his own, and it's here where Slide and Go proclaims that unlike in the hero rankings, in this organization, he outranks Hawks. But Mega Chin gets his comeuppance when a mysterious laptop-wielding building man appears informing Slide and Go that Hawks is a far more valuable asset than he is, revealing that 1. Hawks is chipped and tagged so they can track his every movement and conversation, and 2. By using his status as the number 2 hero, he can get information on every single sector of hero society. But after this ominous encounter and mysterious interaction, we then cut over to Bakugo, Todoroki, and Midoriya meeting up with Endeavour to start their hero studies. Endeavour immediately makes it clear to the kids that he only cares about training Shoto, and the only reason he accepted the other 2 was because Shoto requested it. Shoto, sticking up for his classmates, confronts Endeavour saying that he's the one who made the final decision to accept them, so he can't complain. Data boy Todoroki, you stick up for your homeboys. Bros before abusive daddy-os. We then get a quick flashback to All Might talking with Bakugo and Midoriya, where he tells the young heroes that working with Endeavour will be great experience for the both of them, and that it might be beneficial for Bakugo to witness another person going through some fantastic character development. Back in the present, we see the insane villain Star Servant running rampant through the streets using his glass manipulation quirk to cause havoc, proclaiming that he has had a vision, and in that vision he saw a world of darkness caused by a great evil, and so he makes one giant glass ball which he says will expose the one who will bring this darkness. Endeavour quickly rushes off to take down the villain, and he orders his 3 new interns, Todoroki, Bakugo, and Midoriya, to stay close and watch him. Endeavour then flies into the center of Star Servant's glass ball and melts it with his heat. Now, I'm not a scientist, science man, or claim to be of the sorts, but would molten glass pouring from the sky really be much better than a giant glass ball? Like, did Endeavour actually do anything here, or did he make the situation like 1,000 times worse? If there's any glass enthusiasts out there in the chat, please do let me know. But anyway, Star Servant, having his ultimate move obliterated by the number 1 hero, does as any self-aware person would, and yeets himself away in an attempt to escape from the burning symbol of hope. Endeavour chases down the old glass man, but just as he is about to catch him, 3 of his minions initiate a surprise attack. Before the minions can execute their attack, however, Midoriya, Bakugo, and Todoroki show up in the nick of time to capture the 3 of them. But in an even greater shocking twist, the 3 students don't have time to take the 3 villains down, as Hawks swoops in and swiftly takes them down first. Man, the number 1, the number 2, and the next top 3 heroes all into one fight? These villains were fucked. Once the villains have been taken down, the police come to take them away, and just before Star Servant gets taken by the police never to be seen again, he leaves Endeavour with the chilling words, "The light you give off brings nothing but darkness and demise." Ooh. Potential foreshadowing? Or are they just the words of a crazy old man? With the villains now in custody, Hawks takes this chance meetup to spread the good word of the gospel of the Meta Liberation Army. Hawks hands over a book titled The Meta Liberation War to Endeavour, and with an unusually serious face, he tells Endeavour that if he doesn't have time to read it, he should at least read the parts he has highlighted, especially the second part. Hawks' inner monologue informs us that he wants to tell Endeavour something, but he can't, because he is being watched. So he hopes that Endeavour can pick up on his hints and figure out his secret code. Before Hawks flies away, he hands 3 more copies of the book over to our 3 protagonist hero students, and as he leaves, the Public Hero Safety Commissioner's words echo in Endeavour's head. Make sure to train your hero work study students thoroughly. The story then cuts over to Endeavour's hero agency, where 1A's big 3 are introduced to Endeavour's number 1 sidekicks. The flamin' hot hero Burnin informs the kids that they will get no special treatment, not even Shoto, and that if they want to stand out in this agency, they will have to compete against fellow pro heroes. While the kids are going through initiation, Endeavour is sitting in his office trying to decipher Hawks' code, and and after some serious focus and some ingenious code work by Hawks, he eventually does. And episode 14 ends with Endeavour uncovering Hawks' message, as it reads out, "The enemy is the Liberation Army. They number over 100,000, and in 4 months, they'll rise to action." Overall, this was a pretty decent episode. If you're an anime-only fan, you probably have absolutely no clue what is going on with Hawks, and that's actually pretty cool. Seeing solely the hero's perspective on this part of the story oddly really fits, and adds an entirely new layer of mystery that's just not really there if you already know its ins and outs. Initially, I was very disappointed that they moved the MVA arc narratively, but in seeing how it's actually being played out, I'm not gonna lie, a part of me is kind of upset I'm not experiencing this blind. I would be freaking out trying to connect the dots in a crazed attempt to figure out what the hell is going on, but I would be loving every second of it. So if you're an anime-only fan, enjoy this mystery and confusion in not knowing what's going on, because you're having a completely unique experience of this story that no manga reader will ever have. Season 5, second opening was meh. But hey, you win some, you lose some. Let's just hope all of the budget for this season hasn't all gone into the new movie, and that the next 11 episodes will be some of the most beautiful work we have seen to date. It's very unlikely that that is going to be the case, but hey, one can hope. Overall, I'd give this episode a 6.5 or 7 out of 10. It was a good introduction to the coming arc, and it did very well in maintaining a sense of mystery for the arcs to come. But let me know what you thought of this episode. If you liked this video, don't forget to leave a like. For more My Hero content, subscribe to the Lunchtime crew. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Plus Ultra.